Alright, today we're going to be going over my custom Magic the Gathering deck. It's called TLM 3125, based on comic books that I write. So, this is a 100 card deck. There's 4 Planeswalkers. If you don't know anything about Magic the Gathering, then this video probably isn't for you, unless you just want to sit here for fun. Unique cards, that means there's usually only one of each card. And 2 new card types. That's probably not allowed in Magic the Gathering, but alright, I'm gonna get this. So, this is a really overpowered deck that I just made for fun. So I'm gonna be reviewing every card one by one. So yeah, alright, first card we have is the Trouble Brewing player perk. When enemy players cast spells, they lose 4 life. If it's an instant or sorcery, they lose 11 life. Considering players start with 20 life, this is pretty overpowered. It costs 3 and 1 kite. That is a new energy I made. It's called Kite. It looks like this. It's like a diamond with like a cross in the middle and a thing at the bottom. That's Kite energy, alright? This is Kite energy. What's next? Permanent marker, artifact. Each turn, it costs 5. Each turn place a -3/-3 counter on any creature. That's pretty overpowered, because it's each turn. And yeah, alright, next we have the Chef. One of the characters in my comic books is actually inspired by this card. I made this card before I did a comic book. Creature human, it costs 1 and 1 fire. I think that's fire. Each turn put a +3/+3 counter or a -2/-2 counter, and it's a 7/17 creature. I think this is attack defense. I don't know. I might maybe do the other way around. Right, Angel from Heaven, cost 8. It's a 5/11 creature. Flying, which I think means it can only be hit by creatures with flying or reach. When Angel from Heaven is on the field, opponents can attack players. That's really overpowered. So, because, yeah, alright, Museum Director, one of the future characters in my comic books is inspired by this card. It's a 7/13 creature and has player death touch. I wonder what that means. So if it ever touches the player dies. Not in real life, but like in game. Alright, our first Planeswalker, Museum Tour Guide. AM 2018. That means Artifact Museum, because this deck right here, it was originally TLM 3125 and Artifact Museum, and I combined the 2 decks because Artifact Museum was really bad, and there's going to be a lot of artifacts in this deck. Alright, it costs 4 and 1 kite. It's a 9 Planeswalker, +3, attack target for 4, -3, create 2/4/4 Dabber. Wow, I called it Dabber, I'm just so good. Token creatures, or -20, activate 4 player perks. Player perks is another card type that is in Artifact Museum. Alright, the Exiler. One of the future characters in my comic books is inspired by the Exiler. It's a 11/30 creature, costs 20 and 1 light. Death Touch, right? Each turn, exile target permanent. That's pretty overpowered. Each turn, players sacrifice 1 hand card. That's kind of overpowered, but not as much. Next, you have the Plunger. One of the future characters in my comic books is inspired by the Plunger. It is a 4/21 creature human. It costs 1 white and 1 blue. Haste. Each turn, take card from graveyard. That's pretty overpowered. And can block multiple creatures. That's pretty broken too. Robot Swiper, inspired by my comic books. Unlike these, which my comic books were inspired by them, this was actually taken from my comic books. It's a 4/15 creature with haste, and each turn, exile target permanent. That's pretty overpowered. It only costs 4 and 1 white. That's pretty broken. Alright, next. What do we have? Cannon. There's going to be a lot of cannons, because this is an artifact, part of Artifact Museum. I talked about that earlier. It costs 1 and 1 kite. Attack for 2 or block for 2 damage. That's pretty broken. Alright, next up. I mean, for an artifact it is. What do we have next? Chips. And it says weed on it. I think the word weed is funny, alright? I don't support weed. I just think the word is funny. It costs 1 and 1 kite and heal for 3 or draw X cards. This is really broken for a reason I'll get into soon. Because there's a lot of mana in this deck. Just saying. Water Cup. Alright, it's heal for 2 or revive target creature. That's pretty broken. Revive target creature, heal for 2. And it only costs 1. Alright, next we have Fiery Heck. Alright, so Fiery Heck. You can either add 100 colorless to mana or add 4 fires. Or 4 red, whatever. So it's land, it's pretty overpowered. Alright, next. Into the Void. Instant, it costs 1 black. Alright. Exile 3 opponent creatures or planeswalkers or permanents. You could have just said permanents and that would apply to all of them, I think. Or cancel a current arena event. And, yeah. Or, I don't know if it's both at the same time. Oh no, choose one as in like choose one, this one or this one. So yeah, you can either cancel current arena event, which is another card type, you know. 2 new card types, it's player perks and arena events. They're pretty broken. Lifetime supply, add 100 of any color. That's why the draw X cards is really broken, because this. Alright, lifetime supply. Actually no, because like if you draw all your cards then you lose. Alright, add 100 any color, another lifetime supply. Alright. The Police Forek, inspired by my comics. It's a 5/5 creature. When a monocolored creature dies, place a +2/+2 counter on the Police Forek. That's kind of broken, I guess. Also, this deck is completely colorless, so I don't know how that even works. Another lifetime supply, just 100 of any color. Whiteboard. Weed is good. It's not. I just think the word weed is funny, alright? It costs 2 and 1 kite. Attack for 1 or your creatures get +2/+2 this turn. That's pretty broken, if you ask me. Finding the Way. Don't judge, alright? Old memes. It costs 40. That's a lot, but all of the mana is lifetime supplies, alright? Take 5 cards from your deck into your hand. That's broken. And take 3 cards from graveyard into your hand. That's also pretty broken. Alright, another lifetime supply, no one cares. The Death Lord. Oh, the first player perk, I think. All your creatures gain Death Touch. Yeah, that's basically it. Alright, next. Alright, okay, The Fool. Inspired by the Jester from Town of Salem. If the Fool is killed, player of choice loses 15 life. Each turn the Fool gains +1/+0. So the Fool will keep getting stronger. But if you kill the Fool, then you're going to lose 15 life. So, this card's annoying. It only costs 5. It's 5/1 creature, so it only has 1 hit point. Alright, another player perk. Paycheck. You now draw 2 cards instead of 1. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because if you draw all the cards in your deck, you lose. So, and it's 1 and 1 kite. Alright, next. Next one. Nerd. Alright. Cannot be blocked. When you take damage, Nerd gets +5/+0, and it's a 3/15. Alright. It's 5 and 1 white. Nerd. Alright, next. Twomp's Wall, not Trump, it's Twump, alright? This is inspired by my comic books. It's a Defender, Hexproof, Indestructible, Death Touch, Double Strike. That's a lot, and I haven't played MTG in a while, so I don't know what half of those mean. Can block multiple creatures, and it's a 50/50 creature. So 50 attack, 50 defense, and it's a 4 and 1 white. That's pretty cheap. Alright. Nope. This is just counter target anything. And it's that like typical counter target spell, but the spell backfires on them. For like, if they place a creature, you can counter that creature spell, and the creature will become yours. Or like, they cast a spell that's like, deal 2 damage, then you deal 2 damage to them, because the spell backfires on them, alright? It's overpowered, alright? Rich in Land! Player perk. Your lands now have twice the value. So all the lifetime supplies will give 200 of any mana. Like that even matters, but alright. Next up we have a Keyboard, another artifact from Artifact Museum. 1 and 2 kites. Block incoming attack or activate player perk of choice. That's pretty broken for just a thing you can tap. Alright, School! And I like how I crossed out the word prison. I'm just so hilarious, right? Add 100 to mana or add 4 black or add 4 white. Pretty interesting. Alright. 10,000, inspired by my comic books. Haste, Indestructible, Hexproof. Can block multiple creatures, cannot attack players. So this is basically just a defender. And it's white and 30, and it's a 10,000 creature. That's pretty broken. Yeah. So basically, they're just used for blocking. And basically, what the heck? This thing, it's just used. It's just a wall. All right. This deck is broken. Another lifetime supply. No one cares. Museum visitor. This is just like a basic troop. It's 6/4 and haste and trample. It costs 3. Weed is good. It is not. All right. I do not condone weed. It's just funny to say. What is this? Navigator of the Way. Don't judge dead memes, alright? Take card of choice from library or graveyard into hand or block incoming attack. That's pretty broken. Another lifetime supply. Microwave. Hooray. Heal for X or block for X damage. Heal for X. Lifetime supply. Heal for 100. Yeah, that's pretty broken, right? Gravestone. Alright, next. Kill target creature, planeswalker. Block a creature, that creature then dies. And it costs 3. 3 kites. Pretty broken, actually. Alright, lifetime supply. But this is, instead of 100 any color, it's either 100 nothing, or 5 white, 5 blue, 5 red, 5 black, 5 green. So, it's pretty meh. iPhone 32. I bet in the future this is going to be a thing, alright? I'm predicting that right now in, like, 2062. This iPhone 32 will be a thing, alright? It costs 3 and 1 kite. Attack for 5 or block 5 damage. What is this? Or block 5 damage, alright? iPhone 32. Pretty broken. No You. This is another counter target. It's kind of like the other one, but it's another counter target spell, and the spell backfires on them. But it costs 0. That's pretty good. Alright, next. Math test. Arena events. Arena events are like another card type where basically an event goes on in the arena. Players can't draw for 3 turns. Cost 1 white, 1 black, and 7. Another lifetime supply. Another lifetime supply. Another lifetime supply. Another lifetime supply. Dab. Deal blank damage, which is how much you paid for it. This attack can be blocked. So if you do like deal 100 damage because of the mana, then they can block the damage with one of their creatures. So that's pretty cool. Alright, the next one, this is like my favorite card in the deck, alright? I Am You. Basically, this costs 16 instant, and basically what it means is that you swap decks. Basically, you swap positions with someone, alright? So, like, you gain their deck, you just swap places with them, alright? And they have this deck, so I don't know why you'd ever want to use this card. Because this deck is overpowered, why would you ever give it up? Alright, next. Plague Spreader, inspired by my comics. And the one in my comics was inspired by the game Town of Salem. Alright, it costs 18, this is 6/17 creature. Each turn, infect target creature or player. If Plague Spreader leaves the arena, or you discard it, because you can discard it, infected creatures die, infected players take 6 damage, that's nothing, and infected planeswalkers die. How interesting. What's next? Piece of paper. Weed is good for you. It is not, alright? As I've said before, weed is just a funny word. And, okay, what's this? 1 kite. Artifact, block creature, that creature then dies, that's pretty broken, or revive a graveyard card. Huh, how interesting. Alright, Archaeologist, creature human, each turn take, it's a 5/4 creature, it costs 4. Each turn take artifact from library into hand, that's pretty broken. And it has vigilance. Museum visitor, okay, I already gone over this, it's just a basic troop with haste and trample. Alright, Adrenaline Dude, this, future character in my comics was inspired by this. Death Touch and First Strike. Each turn get +2/+2 or heal yourself for 5. When Adrenaline Dude enters the field, take an extra turn. Alright, 4/4. And it costs 6. Take an extra turn, that's pretty broken. Because you can, with this deck, you can basically win the game in 1 turn or 2 turns. Alright, another arena event. Wine Party. It costs 20. For the next 4 turns, all creatures become a 1/1. Because they're drunk, I guess, I don't know. Alright, The Builder, inspired by my comics. 11/9 creature, hexproof, cannot be blocked when the builder takes damage. No, when the builder blocks, he doesn't take damage. That's kind of broken. Alright. My House, alright? Add 500 to mana. This isn't any color, this is colorless mana, so it's not as good as Lifetime Supplies. Alright, here's one of the most interesting cards in this deck. The 50-50. Flip a coin. If you win, target player loses. If you lose, you lose. So it's a 50-50, and it costs 500. So you need 5 lands or My House. Cannot be countered. Yup. So 50-50 chance, flip a coin. If you win, target player loses. If you lose the coin flip, then you lose the game. That's such a good card. Best card in the deck. Alright, now, another Lifetime Supply. Another Lifetime Supply. Ninja Cyclops, inspired by my comics. It costs 14 black. It's a 1440 creature, alright? Haste, hexproof, indestructible, can block multiple creatures. That's pretty broken. Discard this card to haunt all enemy creatures. Haunted creatures get -6/-6. Alright. Now we have a sorcery. Crashing Wave costs 3. This does not look like a wave. Costs 3 and 1 blue. This turn, all opponents' cards become tapped until the next turn, and you also draw 3 cards. How nice. What's next? Lifetime Supply. Alright, add 100 mana. That's another Lifetime Supply. Sticker Board. It costs 2. It's an artifact. Block incoming attack or search library for 2 lands. That's pretty broken. Alright, for the next card, I'm going to have to do some quality censoring, because this contains someone's name, someone's last name, and I'm not willing to reveal their last name because privacy. So you can now look at any card. It's just called the camera, but here's someone's name. I'm not going to reveal their name because I'm just that nice of a person. You can now look at any card. Basically, this means you have the right to look at anything. You can look at your opponent's card, you can look at your deck, you can look at their hand, you can look at any card, alright? That's the power of the camera. Alright, this is player perk. This is the most broken thing ever. Removal of the wizard hat. Alright, this is like the most broken thing ever. Opponents can't use instant and sorcery spells, and they lose land traits. Basically, what land traits means is that, you know how lands are like, oh, this land, when this land enters the field, take 3 damage or something. Anything that's land that isn't give you mana, that's a land trait. Alright? Just like something that isn't like the basic land thing of just giving you mana. But if the land is like, it's just, remove the land traits, alright? Remove anything in the garbage text box. 2 OP, player perk. Your creatures gain +10/+0 and gain hexproof. And it's a 2 and 2 kites. That's pretty broken. Alright, ATM machine. It says weed again. Don't judge, alright? Weed is just a funny word. It costs 3. It's an artifact. Block creature. That creature then dies. Or draw 3 cards. That's pretty broken. Alright, next. The Meme Stone, inspired by my comic books. Sorry. It's an instant. All your creatures gain +15, +20, and all your creatures gain Death Touch, Flying, Hexproof, Reach, Indestructible, Haste, and First Strike. And you also check a player's hand. So that's a pretty good card. There's so much more cards to go through. Doggy Treat. It's an 8. It's a sorcery. Next turn, opponent creatures can attack, and new creatures can attack, even if they have haste. So that's pretty broken. Newly placed creatures, that is. And this can be, and this works on planeswalkers, so planeswalkers don't work either. Alright. Speed of Snail. This is, the Speed of Snail is inspired by my comic books. Season 4 of my comic books, actually. I still haven't made the Season 2 video on my channel yet. It costs 3 white. This is a legendary creature. It's a snail. Haste, indestructible. It's a 6/13 creature. Cannot be blocked. That's pretty broken. When Speed of Snail attacks, you gain 5 health. And the spell cannot be countered. Alright, that's pretty good. Next. Museum Visitor. We are gone. It's just the basic troop. Alright, this is the best card ever. It's called GG Mate, alright? Player of your choice loses the game, cannot be countered. It costs 1,600, so that's pretty... I feel like that's fair. No, it's not. This is the best spell in the game, obviously. Next, Pescado Land, alright? Add 5 blue to mana or add 100 colorless. Alright, next up, the Shield of Dank. It says weed on it. Weed is a funny word. Block incoming attack, heal for 3 creatures, become invincible this turn. That's broken. Alright. Alright, this is called Turn Back the Clock. It's an artifact. Take an extra turn. Attack target for 2, heal for 2. And tap for two kites, and remove all the damage you just took. This is the most broken card ever. Because take an extra turn, this is gonna get untapped, so you can just take infinite turns if you get this. So yeah. Anyways, lifetime supply, add 100 to mana, any color. Security. I already went over this though, just add guns creature token. I already went over this, I think. Alright, math teacher. It's an 8/31 creature, 22, discard this card, and control what the opponent does next turn. That's pretty good. I've been talking for so long. Anyways. So you control what your opponent does next turn, if you discard this. And the whiteboard says MA equals DE, Y equals OU, and LO equals OK. I wonder what that means. Alright, Normal the this card is so good. Normal the Gathering, no more magic, arena event, all instant sorceries and creature traits. Creature traits are like everything in the text box. They won't work for the next 4 turns, and also Planeswalkers don't work. The reason why I made this card is because me and my friend liked playing Magic the Gathering with custom decks, and this card would just be such a shutdown, because it would be such a shutdown to his deck, because it relies so much on the creature traits and instant sorceries. This is basically a really good card that I just used to troll my friend. Alright, next. Security. I already went over this. Guns creature token. T-Rex Bone. It says weed on it. Weed is funny. 6. It's an artifact. Kill 4 creatures or revive 4 creatures of yours. Or heal for 4. That's broken. How many cards we have left? We have a lot of cards. Alright, I'm 21 minutes into this recording. Wow, of course I am. King of Dabbers. It's from Museum of Artifacts, Artifact Museum. I don't know why the A and M keep switching places. Planeswalker. It's a 15 Planeswalker, costs 11 mana. Heal for the amount of cards in your hand. Exile target creature, gain 1 life. Exile half of a player's hand. Alright. Deal 1000 dividable damage. Is dividable a word? I don't think that's a word. I think divisible is the term. But 1000 damage, you can divide among creatures and players and stuff. That's basically what that means. So you can either do like 500 to creatures, 500 to another creature, 920 to a player, and 80 to a creature. I don't know. Alright, it's divisible, I don't know. Lifetime supply. Cannon. I already went over this. Basic artifact. Soul into Heaven. Arena event. For the rest of the game. It's for the rest of the game. Alright, so it's not any... Because normally arena events last like a few turns. This one lasts the whole game. And all graveyard cards are exiled. Alright, I've been talking for so long. Perma untap. Your creatures are never tapped, and your artifacts are never tapped. That's broken. It's a player perk too. Player perks are basically enchantments, but like they aren't enchantments. They're enchantments, but like you can't like exile enchantments. Like you can counter them, but you can't exile them. I think that's the only difference. Free arena events. All creatures don't require mana to spawn for 3 turns. Alright, that's pretty meh. Alright. Another lifetime supply, no one cares. Alright. The Lion Monster. Good old The Lion Monster. Inspired from my comic books. The main character of my comic books. Cost 301 white. Attack for 5. Heal yourself for 8. Or minus 350, it starts at 200. All your creatures gain plus 11, plus 20, and gain Flying, Death Touch, and Haste. Alright, that's pretty broken. Alright, only a few more cards to go. Alright. The Robot Forak, another one from Museum of Artifacts, Artifact Museum, whatever it is. Exile target hand card. It starts with 8, so... minus 3, exile all but robot creatures. Also, the Robot Forak is inspired by my comic books. Yeah. Your creatures gain Death Touch or / indestructible until the end of turn, or exile target player. I have no idea what that means. It probably isn't good though. Alright, oh gosh, this is the best card ever. This card. Smoking area, yo, let's go. Weed, I don't condone weed. Just saying that. Alright, 3 and 1 kites, and attack for 3, or heal for 2, or draw 2 cards. Yeah, that's pretty lame. Great name, though. Highlighter. 8 and 1 white. Each turn, highlight an enemy creature. This is the only creature, they can only attack with this creature. So that's pretty broken. So you select one of the enemy's creatures and they can only attack with that creature the next turn. Next, Ifsbut. It's spelled IFSBT, but it's pronounced Ifsbut, alright? This is inspired by my comic books, by the way. It costs 4, 1 green, 1 red, and 1 blue, alright. Creature Wizard, it's an 8/25. Hexproof and Reach. Can block 2 creatures. That's pretty broken. And that's supposed to say when. When Ifsbut enters I'm so bad at spelling field. All planeswalkers and creatures are sent into graveyard. That's pretty broken. Lifetime supply. Good land. Add 100 to mana. Any color. Great. Dewey. Dead memes. But this is inspired by my comic books because I had Dewey in one of my comic books. Good land. Add 100 colorless or add 12 white. Alright. That's just another land. Collection of goodies. And the goodies are weed. I do not condone weed. Alright? Instant. Deal damage to any target equal to the number of artifacts you control times 2. So if you have 10 artifacts, you deal 20 damage. Alright, and considering there's a lot of artifacts in here, it's pretty broken. Alright. Soul Eater's Fossil. It's an artifact, it costs 4. Exile target planeswalker. Exile target creature. Exile target permanent. Exile target enchantment. Yeah, these are broken. Alright. Another cannon, just a basic attacker block 2. Alright, this card is one of the most interesting cards I've come up with. Skill Siphon. Enchantment. It costs 6. All enemy creatures lose their traits. Like, this isn't a creature, but like the thing in the description here. And all enemy creatures get Defender. Wow, this is just such an insult. So yeah, they get -5/-5, and they cannot attack. They can only defend. Pretty broken. Alright, 2 more cards. Tree Land. Add 100 to mana or add 4 green. Alright, that's pretty lame. And finally, Box of Treats. 2. Exile X cards or heal for X divided by 2 or attack for X divided by 2. Well, 100, attack for 50. That's pretty broken. So yeah, that's every card in my MTG deck. The Lion Monster 3125. That's so broken. Why is this a thing? And why did I just sit here for 27 minutes reading all the cards? I'm so bored.